Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Every once in a while, we have to bring out the big dog.
Yeah.
Oh, God help us. It's time for Danny Unleashed. Sponsored by Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Go to eastonroofing.com for more.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program begins right now. Petro Siebel, Clink, Danny Unleashed, brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. Adam Dravetta running the operation back at the studios. That's quite an apple. In fact, one may not be enough.
Told you. Love the Honeycrisp, man.
I might be going for another apple.
Consistent, every bite sweet. It's never mushy.
Never find apples to be consistent.
That's the most consistent apple I've ever.
Is that right?
Style.
I'm with you, Danny. I have a hard time, and there's nothing better when you get excited. Like, I'm going to have an apple. It's going to be sweet and juicy. It's going to be great. And you bite into it, and it's mushy, and it sucks.
Right.
I'm done. I'll throw it.
It's
right away.
It's really why I don't eat apples very often, because it's a total crapshoot.
But I found that the inconsistency is season to season. If you go to me, if I go to a place and I get 4 apples, and the first one's good, the other 3 are always good.
Is that right?
That's my experience.
Well, I've kind of given
This
up.
must be what my wife buys, because she always gets great apples.
Yeah.
When you eat
here.
one, my wife buys apples and slices them up and eats them with breakfast and lunch, and so occasionally I'll just pick up a slice that's kicking around, and I'm like, that's the greatest thing I've ever had. And then the next 2 times, it's like,
what is that?
It's okay. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I don't, I'm not sitting there gagging or anything, but it's just like, am I going to get a good apple or not?
Well, the sweet Honeycrisp apples have my seal of approval.
Yes,
they are fantastic.
Well, then maybe it's a hen house thing. They've
Maybe
got all the good apples.
Well, when more than 70% of your produce is raised within 200 miles on 150 family-owned farms, Danny, it's miles of freshness is what it is. Instead of trucking it 2,000 miles.
Makes a big difference, because it is one of those things where you set, and if I get 2 or 3 or 4, and the first one's good, the second one's good, but I don't eat the next 2 for 3 or 4 days, it's different. Just a couple days we'll change that. So you get them fresh, man.
Don't even ask me about.
I won't.
My wife wants her,
because you'll tell us anyway.
Her avocado is going to be like, I think it's like an hourly. It's an hourly thing. This one's none. I can't make guacamole with this thing. No way. Too hard, too soft, Goldilocks. Yeah. So, and then you don't know when you picked it up at the store, you couldn't tell.
Well, that's the tough part.
No.
Avocados are difficult to get good ones, but
I don't know.
I don't know how I've read every time I go to buy it. Yes. Whenever I buy avocados, I look online. Okay, what is the exact thing I'm looking for? I'm like, I think I found it. I get it home now. They're either. I
think they're good, unless they're just.
I've never had a bad avocado.
I haven't really.
Buy them a couple days before
you
eat them.
They're fine.
Exactly.
Yes.
Even a bad apple. I mean, even if it's a little underripe, it's a little too firm. Fine, still good.
Yes. A little more salt, a little more lime on it. We got guac. Let's go.
Buy them green a couple days before you need them, and by Saturday they're fine.
It is the program. We are here at Hen House. You can come down, take advantage of great specials. Like if you want to get some burgers on the grill. 80% lean ground beef, ground fresh several times each day. They trim, grind, and cut their meat several times each day. You can get it right back there at the meat counter. That 80% lean ground beef, just $3.49 a pound. We also just gave away some World War I museum tickets. If you want to go, right now it's half off this whole weekend. We've got them for free. Memorial Day weekend. This is what it's all about, people. It'll be a great time. Take the family down. Mm-hmm. We've got tickets. Just stop on by and say hello. We're here on the northeast corner of 119th and Row at the Hen House. You can find all the specials and more at henhouse.com.
That's
Danny?
A great museum. That is a really great museum.
Yes, it is.
Although it's not a light romp. I mean, it was a horrible.
Not a rom-com, you're saying?
It was a horrible conflict. Where the technology of the day didn't match the battle plans at all. So, but it's sobering and brilliant and very well done.
Yes.
I want to go back. I've been twice. I should have been there 10 times by now. It's great.
It is a great venue. We can give you tickets. Right now, we've also got Monarchs tickets. If you want to go see the Monarchs, they got Star Wars nights coming up.
What a novel idea.
You're a big Star Wars fan.
Danny is always Darth Vader.
It's always gold, though.
Yes,
it's always gold. People love the Star Wars.
I love the outfits.
You can't go wrong if you go to the Star Wars.
Most successful movie franchise in history.
Well, I did go to Star Wars. One. First one.
That was it?
That was it.
I've at least seen 2 of them.
Tomorrow, Star Wars night.
I still haven't gotten around
Characters, in-game costume parade, trivia throughout the game. Danny?
I want to see him play in those.
Hit me with your best Star Wars trivia question.
No.
You don't have one you're saving?
I got nothing.
I got one, Seren.
All right, let's have it.
Which very, very successful director made a ton of money on Star Wars without actually doing any work for it whatsoever?
Steven Spielberg.
Attaboy. All right, and
I know my Star Wars. I'm pretty good at the Star Wars trivia.
What movie did George Lucas mistakenly think would be more successful, and he did not make as much money as Steven Spielberg because of that same bet?
Close Encounters.
Close Encounters
of the Third Kind.
Mm-hmm. Steven
Far
said
better movie.
Your movie's going to be more successfus. George Lucas said, nope, yours is, and they each gave each other a certain percentage of the cut, and off they went. And George Lucas said, wait a minute, merchandising.
Yeah, they figured it out. So, Close Encounters of the Third Kind was all right.
It's an excellent movie. Star Wars was...
There's been 10
fantastic.
A lighthearted romp.
Been 10 versions of Star Wars. There hasn't been a second version of Close Encounters. And they may have been individually the more...
I'm not going to argue about Star Wars. People love it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to...
And I've only seen
fiddle in their
two
Cheerios. People have a lifetime of entertainment out of Star Wars.
You know,
why would I poo-poo it? It's great.
It's Danny Unleashed. It comes with venom, hate.
Not in this case.
Kicking kids in the race car.
I mean, if people...
What about when you slap that kid who went by in the race car cart?
But if people were, holding, Friday the 13th night at the Monarchs, I'd have an issue with it or something, even though it's a wildly successful franchise. If people are dedicated to that, okay, then I'll come unleash.
By the way, next
Star Wars, so good entertainment for people. And more. It's a healthy obsession.
Friday the 13th night at Royals.
What's the next? I'll go one more. What's the next? This is for Adam because I don't think you two have any shot.
I don't.
Adam, what's the next Star Wars streaming show?
Oh, I do not pay attention to the streaming shows, so I do not know.
The Acolyte.
Did you Google it?
No, it just popped up when I was looking for an image for Star Wars, and it said The Acolyte.
Yes,
there.
well done. Well done.
Isn't that what Gatorade has in it to help you rehydrate?
That's right. Yep, it has Acolytes. There you go. June 4th, I think it comes out. Anyway,
an Acolyte is a student, isn't it?
I think Acolytes are what they called us.
A somebody in a sub.
That's what they called us when we carried the cross and everything in Episcopal Church. We were acolytes.
Oh, okay.
There's a word that Danny doesn't know the definition of.
Curtis is going to act like he knows while he Googles acolyte definition.
If it has something to do with religion, there's no doubting why I don't know
knowledge in my life.
The Force is a religion.
It is. I mean, it is it's certainly a Star
Wars is somewhat of a religion.
It's obviously a religious story, just sort of changed.
A person assisting the celebrant in a religious service or procession.
There you go.
An assistant or follower.
Yeah, assistant or follower. That's what I was thinking. That it was somebody who was in a subservient position.
Yes.
An acolyte. So I did kind of know it.
So Curtis is an acolyte of cheese.
Right.
I'm not subservient.
He's an acolyte.
I don't know.
He might be an acolyete of you.
That might be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. I think Danny had the second one figured out a little better.
Cheese.
Well, cheese. I mean,
hoagies.
Similar fat content.
There's no bad cheese. I'll say that. We're talking about an apple.
No bad cheese, Velveeta.
I mean, it's still okay.
I think it's great, but one time I heard you go on a diatribe. You said American cheese isn't cheese.
Well, American cheese, it's it's like the worst cheese ever. They decide, let's take all the wonderful things about cheese and take them out and make the blandest, crappiest thing ever. But it's still okay. It melts up nice.
So are you telling me you don't scrape the crispy cheese that's still on the grill after you've grilled the cheeseburgers off and eat it when it's your turn to clean the grill?
I've grilled with Danny. He doesn't do cheeseburgers.
I don't.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I'll let somebody out. Also,
crispy American cheese.
Somebody wants to have a
drippings.
nice burger. I kind of let them have their own jam with the burger.
Danny will throw me some beef on the grill. Steak.
Last time you were over, I made some steak.
Yeah.
Didn't screw it up.
The first time you discover a cheeseburger and or a grilled cheese with a cheese other than American cheese is a very important moment in life.
Right.
But Anthony Bourdain, there's a clip of him like in and out, and he's talking about what goes into a perfect burger. He's like, bun selection is important, reasonably, fresh, crisp vegetables, 2 patties because you get the most, popples of the tongue are exposed to the surface of the meat. He goes, cheese. He goes, any kind of cheese. He goes, don't waste your money on expensive cheese. Whatever this cheese-like substance, just fine. I'm like, there it is. That's Anthony freaking Bourdain says, hey, whatever this cheese stuff is.
There's a lot of people who are kind of foodies who do insist that American cheese is the best cheese.
I think it's great on a cheeseburger.
For a cheeseburger.
It's great.
It's fine. Now, I can't tell you, really. I haven't had a hamburger in 40 years. So
I have never sat and eaten a square of
I'll tell you what,
American cheese, but
when I see a commercial, see a commercial for a hamburger, a cheeseburger, it looks delicious, but I know it ain't going to be for me. But it looks great. I'm like, look at that. That looks like a tasty treat, right?
Why don't you eat burgers?
It's like coffee.
I just stopped eating them because just for fat reasons. It's not philosophical.
So your own insecurities?
No. It was to keep weight down.
Yeah.
And then once you stop eating a hamburger, if you go back like after 10 years, it's going to make you sick.
I don't think it will.
Yes, it will. It's happened to me, so I know.
Okay. Because there's lots of people who've been thin for a while.
I spent the back 9 at a golf tournament, like crawling from shot to shot because I was starving at the turn and they were serving up burgers. I said, well, what can be the harm? Well,
Scottie Scheffler video came out before this goes any further.
Speaking of golf,
and he had a burger. He was having a burger. That's why he was distracted. And
was that what it was?
Yeah.
He's having a burger on his drive-in at 6 in the morning.
Well, he had a sandwich in the Slammer. I know that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, it's pretty. It doesn't look like all that good for the policeman, I'll say that. But there's so many problems with it. First of all, he didn't have his body cam on, which hurts. And secondly,
throws it out right away.
The angles.
Did you see the quote from the lawyer? We're not interested in any kind of discussions.
No.
We're either going to try this or the charges are going to be dropped.
Right. Yeah.
There's no in between. And I agree.
The only issue that seems strange is that I think they were expecting the charges to be dropped when the day they held the press conference. Was that yesterday or 2 days ago? I can't remember. But so they're going ahead with it for some reason. But the part is the big vehicles are right in the way of Scottie's car, so you really can't see what his actions were. He clearly was going somewhere.
Agreed.
He wasn't supposed to be going. But
where that officer didn't want him to go. He was definitely going somewhere he was supposed to be going. He was going to the course.
Right.
Where he had a tee time and was scheduled to play in the PGA Championship.
But they had, because of the accident and the mayhem there, they had blocked one of the lanes and weren't allowing that traffic going that way to take that lane. And so they said, you can't go down there. And he may well have just said, screw it, I'm going there. And maybe that's what has made them angry. But there's 2 giant vehicles in the way, and you only sort of see anything of consequence when they clear that, and that's where you see Scottie Scheffler getting out of the car and so on and so forth. And you also see no evidence that the officer is dragged to the ground.
Well, right there. When you accuse someone of being dragged,
right,
anything else that came out of your mouth is gone down the toilet.
Right.
Yep.
Because that, according to what we've seen on video, unless somebody's got another video, and why wouldn't they have released it by now?
Right.
Why would you release just this and have your officer look like a fool? if you had anything more to put out there.
Especially when apparently you're going to go forward with the case. You're not dropping it. You're not saying,
I think they will drop it. I'll bet money they drop it.
Yeah.
They just don't want to drop it right now. They want to let a news cycle or two go by. They'll drop it Sunday at 5. They'll drop it next Friday at 5.
I don't see why that really helps them out. The longer it goes along, the worse they look. So, I don't know.